With us now is Rina Shah. She's a political analyst and commentator and a frequent guest here with us on CGTN. Rina, welcome to the program. What is your sense here? How long is this shutdown going to go on for? And do you see any wiggle room, any room for compromise between the two sides?
Well, my sense in general is that this shutdown could take anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks to sort of iron out the details and really open back up the federal agencies that have been shuttered and certainly the federal workers that have been impacted. But it's gone beyond federal workers. Small businesses are certainly impacted by this shutdown as well. Our last one was 6 years ago, and that lasted for 35 days. But in general, what we're hearing from the White House right now is a rhetoric that's changing by the moment. Right now, what we're hearing President Trump say is that he's nailing it, with Democrats having handed him a golden ticket with this shutdown. He sees it as an unprecedented opportunity to gut the bloated, what he's calling again, quote unquote, Democrat agencies that waste billions of dollars on political scams.
Well,
So,
let me interrupt you because I want to actually play a clip from Caroline Leavitt, touching on what you just said. Yeah, President Trump has said the radical left Democrats have given him an unprecedented opportunity to slash government agencies. Okay, now take a listen to see what Caroline Leavitt had to say earlier.
We're going to look at agencies that don't align with the administration's values that we feel are a waste of the taxpayer dollar. And look, unfortunately, these conversations are happening because we don't have any money coming into the federal government right now. And so the president wants to be a good steward of the American taxpayer dollar during a time when our balance sheet is looking very grim because the Democrats chose to shut the government down.
So they're clearly targeting agencies that don't align with the administration's values. What are those agencies, Rina, and what are the implications and dangers of really politicizing federal agencies? I'm not even sure if it's legal.
Well, President Trump is meeting with the director of the Office of Management and Budget today. His name is Russ Vought. He is a well-known far-right conservative figure who has had a front row seat to all this for years. I myself knew him in the House. And what they're going to do today is map out the cuts, temporary or permanent. What they want to really prove once again is that their chaos is the Democrats' chaos, is what they're saying, is the Republicans' chance to drain the swamp and to make America great again. Now, what's that really mean? Look at Project 2025. It wasn't just some shadowy plot. It's a really bold conservative blueprint to dismantle the deep state, and it's fired up loyalists like Russ Vought to overhaul agencies and slash $163 billion in what they're calling wasteful spending on climate and health boondoggles. Now, Trump has denied it during the campaign, having that affiliation with Project 2025, but now he's embracing it to deliver what he's saying efficiencies, the efficiency that voters demanded. And so there is a chance here to turn politicization into progress. But what really gets me here is the uncertainty for federal workers. Federal workers are certainly on the edge right now, with about 750,000 of them furloughed and 300,000 more cuts looming by this year's end. I'm talking buyouts, firings, and deferred resignations. That shakes up the bureaucracy entirely. So we have to be real here, though. This isn't cruelty, Republicans are saying. They are saying that it's overdue reform and that Trump's fork in the road buyout gave 150,000 a very soft landing with pay through September, and it's forced accountability in a system that is bloated with inefficiency.
And ultimately, Rina, who do you think the Americans are going to blame for this mess?
Well, that's the question du jour. But I will say, in talking about compromise, which I think it's important to talk about because I believe there is room for compromise, Democrats could end this shutdown tomorrow by dropping demands for migrant health care subsidies that hike premiums for everyday Americans. But what they're doing is digging in, and they're forcing Trump's hand on cuts. Now, there is some misinformation out there about how much money goes towards funding the healthcare of what Trump calls quote unquote illegal aliens, or in other words, migrants. But room exists here if they prioritize citizens over those illegal people who are here in the nation. They can pass a clean funding bill and protect those Affordable Care Act subsidies for legal residents. And I think there is room, again, to negotiate real reforms without the blame game.
And are you, just very finally, are you at all worried about the state of division and polarization in America right now?
Well, look, polarization isn't just American. It's raging globally from Brazil to Europe.
But government shutdowns are uniquely American.
Indeed. But what I will say, it's turbocharged by our two-party system. And free speech fuels fiery debates that make us stronger, not weaker. And unlike authoritarian regimes silencing dissent, our mess is democracy in action, actually. Trump's showdown, essentially, what it does is highlights that, again, acrimony that's on display in things like a partisan shutdown, but it uniquely empowers everyday Americans to demand accountability and force real change. And that's what keeps me energized and optimistic for the future, even though U.S. polarization is at a fever pitch right now. We're seeing record highs with some 77% of Republicans, 51% of Democrats, and moderates at 34%, all saying that basically this rhetoric is fueled by the elites, and media echo chambers are turning neighbors into enemies.
All right. Interesting conversation. We're going to leave it there. Rina Shah, thank you so much.